After a huge win at Hull, Boro find themselves back in the playoffs heading into 2025. The question is, can they beat Cardiff and can they stay there? What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Project Boro Preview Show. Today we're looking ahead to tomorrow's game at home to Cardiff City. Quick turnaround on this one, of course. The games just keep coming thick and fast, but there will be a slight break after this game for the FA Cup weekend, which means that this is quite a big game for Boro just to get to the end of this run of fixtures, which has been turbulent at times. But if Boro could come out of this run of games, pick up 3 points at home to Cardiff, backed up by a huge win away at Hull. As I mentioned, heading into the Hull game, it would mean Boro had picked up 9 points from the last 5, which isn't far off that magic 2 points per game that we always earmark as promotion form. So even though the Plymouth, the Sheffield Wednesday games will still haunt my dreams for the rest of this season at least, and how we didn't take 3 points from either, we still might come out of this run in relatively good nick, and I think it would be important to do just that because, as I say, 2-week break after this. Yeah, we've got Blackburn in the Cup. No one really cares about that. I don't. But yeah, it allows us to rest our best players, have 2 weeks break. They're not going anywhere for international, so there's hopefully no worries about anyone getting injured. The squad can only come back for the following game after that in mid-January, hopefully with some big players back close to full fitness. So this feels like the last big game to get out the way in this really condensed, rough stretch of non-stop football. And if Boro can come out of it, 43 points in 5th, maybe a few points inside the playoffs, given everything that's happened. And yes, again, I stress, and you could go all the way back to August and say this to be fair, Boro should be a lot better off than what we are. But if we can go into the next round of games after this in a good, strong, solid position in 5th, you take it. But we've got to get past Cardiff first, and that's who we're looking at today. So, Cardiff City, they sit 23rd in the Championship. They've not had a great season whatsoever. Of course, they sacked their manager early season, and who they had at the start of the season has actually completely passed me by. But they brought in Omar Riza as an interim, and he did unbelievably well in that period, and it looked like he'd got them moving in the right direction, and there was no doubts about safety. Give him the job, everything's rosy. However, since they gave him the job at the start of December, things have sort of gone backwards again, and weirdly, it's so weird how this works in football, his permanent stewardship as the manager, the permanent full-on manager, has been so much worse than what his interim spell was. Maybe it's down to pressure, maybe it's down to the environment, I don't know. But we'll look at his tenure so far in smaller detail in a bit. But in general, Cardiff sit 23rd. Out of 24 games, they've won 5, drew 7, and lost exactly half of them games, being 12. They've scored 24 goals and conceded 39. We'll get into their numbers in a bit. But although they're not bottom for everything when it goes to being offensive and defensive, they are pretty much lingering around the relegation zone in every possible stat at the moment. But looking more closely at Omar Riza's permanent spell, and I stress permanent spell, this isn't including his temporary charge where, respectfully, he was very, very good and they're winning a lot of games. But since he was appointed permanently on the 5th of December, he's managed 6 games as permanent manager of Cardiff City, and out of them 6, they've only won 1. They've drew 2 and lost 3. However, the one win they did get was away at Watford. That remains their only away win this season, but it is a pretty good away win in all honesty, because they are the first team to went to Watford since March and win. So even though Cardiff have only won 1 game this season on the road, it was a darn impressive one, I've got to be honest. However, despite that, they are only 17th currently in the Championship away league table. As I say, they have only won the 1 game. They've only lost 5 though, and drew 6. And you compare their away record to a lot of the teams who are in the relegation zone, for away form. They've lost nowhere near as many games. You look at Plymouth, who've lost 11 of their 13. Luton have lost 10 of 12. Oxford have lost 8 of 11. There are teams in this league who have lost a hell of a lot more away games than what Cardiff have, and they've actually lost the same number of away games as Sheffield Wednesday, as Bristol City. They've lost less than Norwich. So, and they've only lost one more away game than Boro, so they've not lost that many games on the road. They draw a hell of a lot. So that might tell you their potential approach to this game, and that maybe they'll come to Riverside in an attempt to just get something. Sit back, come away with something. They might not go all out for the win. They might not try and win the game at risk of losing it. So this might be another case of a team coming to Riverside, sitting back and hoping for the best, which has very often this season proven to be an issue for Boro. So we'll be interested to see how Cardiff set up and if it's a set up Boro can indeed break down. But yeah, away form, okay, not the worst, could be a lot better. But their last away win was very, very impressive. But still, they have only won the once under Omar Rizza permanently. So I wouldn't say exactly his permanent tenureship as Cardiff boss has been all that good and got them quite moving in the right direction as yet. Taking a closer look into their numbers then, starting with their offensive stats. And as I say, they're not particularly great going forwards or backwards. They currently sit 20th of 24 in goals scored. They've only scored 24 goals this season, exactly 1 goal a game, and only 4 sides have scored less than Cardiff in the Championship this season. In fact, only 2, because Plymouth and Stoke are below them in the table, but they're actually joint with 24 goals also. Only Hull and Millwall, in fact, have scored less, with Hull and Millwall having 22 goals respectively, so they've got the joint second worst attack in the Championship, and this is backed up by their XG, which doesn't prove pretty reading either. They're actually in the bottom 3 for expected goals as well. They're 22nd in the Championship. XG is 24.4, so they're pretty much bang on their XG for the goals they've scored. So it's not like they've been massively underperforming and they've created a lot more than what they've scored, and there's an excuse to say if they were a bit more clinical, things wouldn't be so bad. No, they are right at the bottom of the league for expected goals, and they've pretty much performed that bang on as well. You can also use other stats to back up their weak attack. They're right down there in terms of big chances. Expectedly, or interestingly, they are really low for big chances and big chances missed, but they're actually really high for shots on target. They're 7th for shots on target in the Championship, averaging around 4 a game. However, big chances, they're 23rd. Big chances missed, they're 23rd, which maybe tells me that although they get a lot of shots on target, they're never particularly big chances. They're never particularly huge goal-scoring opportunities, whether they're pop shots from range that find their way on target, but they're never particularly of any great significance. So that's an interesting anomaly, the fact that they don't create many big chances but have quite a lot of shots on target. So maybe they'll try their luck from range the odd time against Boro. I'm not too sure, but as I say, very low for big chances and big chances missed. So this is a Cardiff side that just simply do not create all that much, and they don't score many either. And things do not get much prettier when it comes to their defence either. They're in the bottom 4 for the worst defence too. They've conceded the 4th most goals in the Championship at the moment with 39. That's 1.6 a game. Only Pompey with 40, Luton with 42, and Plymouth with 53 have conceded more this season. So they're right down there when it comes to goals conceded. And once more, their XG against doesn't exactly bail them out either. It's a little bit better. I mean, they're still 6th in the XG against table. Their XG against still equates to 36.1, so they have conceded 3 more goals than what their data suggests, but still, there are only 5 teams in the league who've let up bigger, more quality chances than Cardiff, being Oxford, Pompey, Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke and Plymouth. 4 of them 5 teams, you could say, have massively struggled this season. And one other interesting stat when it comes to their defence, again, just going back to Omar Rizza's time in charge permanently since December 5th, in the games that he's managed permanently in that time, they've conceded a lot of goals. They've conceded 2 to Preston, 2 to Stoke, 2 to Sheffield United, 3 at Oxford, 1 to Watford, and 1 to Coventry, meaning they've conceded 11 goals in his 6 games so far, scoring 7, but conceding almost 2 goals a game since he took over, which means there is a likely chance with Boro and our chance-creating ability and our very good attacking players. If we are on it, we will create a lot, and hopefully we'll score a lot against this Cardiff side as well. Taking a look into their lineup then, they have used a variety of formations in his time. I believe the game before last, maybe it was the Watford game which they won, they might have utilised a 3-4-3 according to FootMob. I don't know if they'll revert back to that because it's what got them joy at Watford, but it is worth noting the last team who come to the Riverside and utilised the 3-4-3 was Sheffield Wednesday in that first half against Boro, and we absolutely ate them alive in that formation. Our players were able to go man for man, and we had so much joy in attacking areas. So I don't know if Omar Rizza will have seen that. I don't know if he'll go back to a 3-4-3 because that's what, gave his team more joy in their big away victory, or if he'll recognise that it didn't exactly go well for Sheffield Wednesday, and it wasn't until they tweaked it second half and went to a 4-1-4-1 that day that they turned the game on its head. So I don't know what he'll do, but in the last game at least they went to a 4-2-3-1. Had to look twice here because Callum Chambers was in central midfield. I don't know what's going on there. I know he can play there possibly, but I wouldn't have him starting as a central midfielder. For me, he's a centre-back. I don't know if that tells you all you need to know about how Cardiff are setting up at the moment, but there's not too many players in that team that I would say worry me all that much. O'Dowda is a very good left-back. I think he could be crucial in how they defend Boro's right-hand side, whether it's Isaiah Jones or Ben Duck. That's a crucial battle that they need to come out on top of if they're going to stop Boro's attacking threat. So O'Dowda's going to have a huge game in there. I can't lie, even with Hackney and Barlasser in the midfield and how hit and miss they can be in the midfield with Siopis and Callum Chambers, I'd like to hope Boro's nippy, quick-thinking, forward-thinking, attacking midfielders will get the better of this Cardiff City midfield if he opts to go for the same 2. The attacking 3, though, ain't too bad. Alex Robinson, I've heard, at central attacking midfielder, is a very, very good young player. We all know what Chris Willock can do on his day, albeit his career at Cardiff has been very hit and miss so far this season. But one giant boost for Boro is that Cardiff's top goal scorer, who is highest for goals and goal contributions, Callum Robinson, is suspended. He was sent off in their last game against Coventry City, meaning their top goal scorer is out. He scored 8 goals this season, 8 goals, no assists, so 8 goal contributions in total. So out of the 24 goals he scored, or the 24 goals Cardiff have scored, he has contributed to pretty much a third of them. So without him in the team, it's tough to see where the goals might come from a Cardiff City point of view. Their next highest goal scorer is Alex Robinson at the 10, who scored 3. After that, you're looking at Anwar Al-Ghazi, who I don't even think he's in the team at the moment, scored 2. They have got Ruben Colwill, who has the most number of assists with 4. He didn't play against Coventry. And then you may be looking at Callum O'Dowda down the left to maybe give them a bit of width and offer some potential assists down that left-hand side. So, yeah, without Callum Robinson, it's a huge, huge boost for Boro. I still feel like we need to be wary of Alex Robinson at the 10, but one huge boost for Boro is that their top goal scorer is out suspended. As for my Boro lineup, I've gone with something like this. I think it might be exactly the same as the Hull City lineup, barring the fact I've actually remembered Rav Vandenberg exists this time. How did I forget Rav Vandenberg exists? It was a shocker from me. But yeah, goalkeeping, can't see a difference there. Tom Glover will be in goal. Back-to-back clean sheets for me would mean it's no time to change the back 4. I wouldn't tinker that. Michael Carrick, if I was you. Dyke Steele has been in very good form. Fry, Rav Vandenberg should be in there. And then again, down the left, it depends on the combination he wants to play. Is it McGree and Engel? Is it Bergzorg and Borges? For me, at home, I think just with how we ended the whole game as well, Bergzorg getting the assist, he was helped via that assist because Borges inverted and dragged some of Hull's defenders infield, which was a clever bit of play from Borges that maybe went a little bit unnoticed, but I really like that left-hand side, and Don't get me wrong, McGrean and Engel can be effective in the right game. If this is the right game for Carrick and he opts for them too, fair enough. But for me, I'd prefer Borges and Bergsorg right now. It's going to still be Hackney and Barlasser in midfield with no other options there. Howson was in the away end last week or on New Year's Day, so I don't know if he'll be in the team or not, but I'm hoping we might see a Rogate and Morris on the bench. I do just feel like, though, we might give him another fortnight just to make sure he's 100% and we won't see him until the following league game after this. I think we might be able to deal with Cardiff, with Barlasser and Hackney for now. And then I think obviously Azaz is probably the first name in the team sheet right now. Although Jones started against Hull, I think that was maybe him giving Doak a rest. Doak come on and looked electric in that second half. So I'd like to see him start again. Again, it's a home game. Boro, for me, have to be on the front foot, have to go after Cardiff, get the game won early. So I have gone with two very direct wingers either side. And again, Latilath is going to start because we don't know where Tommy Conway is. He might be getting close to coming back into the squad. He might not. Again, I feel like this will be a sort of game Boro will look at to just get through. And then I think we'll look to introduce a lot of our injured players back after the FA Cup weekend. So, head-to-head. And I'm just chucking good news your way today, guys, because the head-to-head is very positive in Boro's favour as well on FootMob. As far as the record goes back, which is to the end of 2010 in League and Cup. In fact, I don't think there's a Cup game in there. So in the League, in the, 23 league meetings between the sides so far, Boro have won 13 to Cardiff's 8, with only 2 draws in there, interestingly. So not many draws in this fixture, but Boro have by far the better record against Cardiff. And Boro have won each of their last 4 against Cardiff. And not only have we won 4 in a row, we've bagged a ton of goals in that time. In the last 4 wins that we've had over Cardiff City, we've scored 9 goals. We got 3 away at Cardiff in 2023, 2 at home to them last time they came up here in a 2-1 win, and since then we've gone to Cardiff twice, won 4-1, and then we won 2-0 at the end of August this season, of course. So that means Cardiff have only beaten Boro in one of their last 9 league meetings against us, with Boro winning 6 of them. So Cardiff's record against Boro isn't great. We might be classed as a bit of a bogey team to the Bluebirds. Be interested to hear what Cardiff fans think in the comments section below, but their record up at the Riverside isn't fantastic either. So that leads me on to my prediction. Now, I think all in all, hoping Boro can use the late winner at Hull as a bit of a catalyst, and the fact that we've kept the goals out for the last few games. We have gone up against 2 very blunt attacks, it is worth saying, so I'm not getting too carried away with that just yet. But, as I say, Cardiff, they're not in a great place under Omar Rizza at the moment. Things haven't gone great since he took over permanently. They're shipping quite a few goals overall throughout the season. That's also been the case. And their top goal scorer is suspended. So this has to be, for me, a game Boro will look to win, should win. I don't think there's much excuse for anything other than that. So I am going to back Boro to win 2-0 once again. And I think we'll win 3-0. I think you look at the average number of goals Cardiff are conceding, which is around 2 goals a game since Omar Rizza took over. You could comfortably say Boro maybe 2-0, but I think with our attacking talent and the players we have on the pitch, if we get an early goal especially, I think we'll win this game and maybe, hopefully, comfortably and get a 3rd clean sheet in a row. So I'm going to go Boro 3, Cardiff 0, nice and positive. But as always, let me know your predictions in the comment section below. Guys, your thoughts, whether you're a Boro fan, Cardiff fan, let me know your thoughts. If you listen to this on the chosen podcast provider of your choice, there are links in the description for you to go and check us out over there. And if you are listening on your podcast provider, give me a like and a rating as always. But if you're here on the YouTube channel, smash a like on the video. It really helps support the channel and the series out. Subscribe for more. We, of course, preview and review every single Boro game across the season. And we will, of course, be back after this game on Sunday to review whatever happens. And then we'll be taking a bit of a break. There won't be any previews, of course, for the FA Cup game because who the hell cares? It's a 3rd round game at home to Blackburn, to which neither side will probably be bothered and they'll play their second team. So we're going to have a little bit of a break next weekend from the previews. However, my good friend Chris will be jumping back on the channel with me next week to have another long, elongated 1-hour chat to discuss Boro and where we are at. and where we've been since we last caught up and where we're at now. So we are still going to be bringing you an episode of Project Boro next week, but the preview shows are going to be done for a fortnight now, and we will be back with the next preview, which will be Boro's next championship game, which is away to Pompey in the middle of January, which is interesting. I'm actually away for that game. I won't see it live. I'm in London that weekend, so I'll be able to preview the Pompey game. Don't know when I'll be able to review it though, but we'll still be back to preview it in around a fortnight's time. But until then, guys, do take care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.